Okay, so I'm on. I think this time is gonna be the right time. So I've been trying to get the new setup working properly. Um, you can probably see that I'm looking a little different on the microphone today, but um, yeah. So I'm really sorry if I'm a little quiet in this like recording. I tried to tweak the sound situation the best way that I knew how, but I'm kind of getting used to um, the way that things are set up here. Um, my original plan was that I wanted to film in Premiere, but I couldn't figure out how to run a webcam through the software. I'm not really sure if it can or not. So I didn't want to take too much time and start, beating a dead horse, especially like when the priority was to get the video out. So had to stay on track. But things are going well. I'm getting caught up in general. So that's very cool. Yeah, I'm just going to talk a little bit. I hope that's okay if I just sit here and talk a little bit. Uh, I hope I'm talking about things that are interesting. I'm watching the news right now, and I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm wearing my hood right now. I'm trying to stay a little bit warm, like it's a little bit colder outside, and this is like a V-neck, so that's why I have like this, because I'm very protective over my neck in the colder months. Like, I can have wet hair and go outside. I grew up doing that in the snow, so I don't really do it too much now the way that I used to, and as cold of a climate as I used to be in. But that's cool. But I protect the neck. I think I'm quoting somebody with that. But yeah. So that's why this is here. So, but I'm watching the news, and I think right now what's going on is, what's happening down at the border, and everything just seems like heightened. I can't figure out, like, maybe I think too much about these things, but I can't really figure some things out. I think I'm going through some changes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how you hear about people having like midlife crises and things like that. I think I'm having a pseudo midlife pondering time of pondering, because I don't even know, like, I don't think I'm midlife yet, but I'm pretty much there, and I can't figure it out. It's like I'm looking at like music, and I'm like, was stuff that I used to listen to this stupid? And the answer's kind of pointing to yes. Like, I don't know. I don't know if my young, tender mind was just more accepting of things like back in the day, and now I'm kind of like, I see the reality and I can't take it. I try to tiptoe my little toes into the modern waters of music, and you know the hook's just not catching. It's like I'm trying over here, but it seems like I can't relate in a way that I want to listen to even anyone's full album. And like, I run into songs and they'll be cool, and I'm talking about some like mainstream stuff. Like, I don't know if stuff has just gotten like really dumb, like in some ways. I don't know. Like, but I just can't relate to any artist. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to what they're coming out with. Like, there's a few. Like, I've been looking forward to what the what the Black Eyed Peas have been coming out with. One, first, I started, I guess, rediscovering them because CL from 21 started working with them. I guess some years back she started working with them. So when they release new stuff, or if she mentions something on Instagram about something new, like, and I listened when it was associated with her. But then I started like listening in general, and honestly, they've been putting out some of the best hip hop, period. Like lyrics, rap style, and beats. And I wasn't expecting that. I did see this interview that they did, and they were saying like before they were doing like the man's music, and now they're doing their own. Otherwise, like, I used to like a ton of artists back, in the day. And now it's just like, what? And then now the border thing. Like I get it. But to come up to the border, especially, like, I wouldn't say especially when Trump's in office, but like especially when Trump's in office, you're now is the time you're gonna decide to like bombard the wall, like, and you know what? Other presidents may be like pulling like a whew right now because I'm sure all of them would want to have the same like reaction, but none of them would want to be the bad guy. And Trump is like everyone's bad guy nowadays, especially for the, except for the people who support him, like fully and like outrightly, and they're considered the bad guy too. But I can see where like both sides are coming from on a lot of things. And I wouldn't say I don't want to get involved, because I am involved regardless. But my thing is that there's so much like red tape and gray zones and stuff that we don't see. And like what happened with the reporter, where's that story now? All this hype for all of these weeks. Breaking news. Breaking news. Oh my gosh, it's breaking news. Like, whoa. And all of it to dissolve into, yeah, they're a financial ally. Why are we gonna break those ties? And it's like all these weeks of like coming on the mic and putting it out there like some big thing just happened. And when it all comes down to it, it's like, no one cares. I mean, ultimately, no one cares. I'm laughing, and it's not cool that this guy went through this. But, the owner of the publication that he worked for, won't name any names, but we will say the richest person on the planet didn't have anything to say. Why? Because he didn't want to lose out on any Black Friday sales. So now the Black Friday thing, even the name Black Friday, oh goodness. It's like, what do you even do with all of this? It's like, it's gotten to a point where it's so theatrical that it's not even able to be taken seriously anymore. Like, it really can't. Like, they're not even taking it. No one that participates in that situation, like, wholeheartedly, people who have signed up to be doing what they're doing, talking about politicians, talking about journalists, like, I don't even think that they take it seriously, even though it's serious stuff that they're covering. And let's talk about this person. This person who's an artist who is going to send some thing like space installation into space, like art being blasted off into space. Like, that's what we're doing now. Like, let's just go pollute the atmosphere just a little bit more. No, we haven't done enough polluting on Earth. There hasn't been enough like tree cutting and fracking, and there's not enough pig shit in puddles that are just soaking into the land. You know, there aren't enough factories blowing out smoke. No, there's not enough plastic in the ocean. No, but now let's go and fuck around with space. Like, even more so than we already are doing. Like, and it's like, who regulates this? Like, the only answer is God. Like, it sounds, whatever it sounds like that it sounds, it is, you know. Because you can't depend on the government to like care about the environment. We all know what that's about. So it's like, okay, just exit that off. You can't expect these anti-pollution agencies to really like get it done. They just don't have the means. Like, you would have to have like a nationwide like change of heart where like at least half the population of the entire United States went out and said, we're gonna get it done, we're gonna just do it and we're gonna clean it all up. It's like, these things are on a scale that it's like a governmental worldwide government scale, you know. And right now they're not concerned with that. They're concerned with living as long as they can. You know, like that one dude in politics has had so many surgeries that it's like unreal. Like multiple organ transplants and all this kind of stuff. Like, these people aren't having a good time when they're on their way out, you know? Like, most of them aren't taking that godly route. Most of them think that it's all about like whatever they're doing, and that's kind of like where all these industries are like pointing to. These industries aren't pointing to like do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. It's geared towards fuck it up, dig it up, butcher it, cut it out, put it in my bank, put it in the air, make sure that my bank account's growing, and do it all again anywhere that we can. Like, what's going to be next? Antarctica? And you know what I'm saying? South Pole and Antarctica? Like, or there's the same thing. I don't know. North Pole, South Pole. I'm sorry, but like, you know, there's been regulations on some places, and now those regulations are like falling away, and you see people walking on totally devastated lands that are just drilling the bejeebies out of them, and they're like, yeah, it's great. And it's like, okay, I see where your head's at. So it's not about like waiting for people to do, it's not about waiting for agencies to do the right thing. You know, I was thinking about and sorry, I have no nails. I broke a nail the other day in Walmart trying to pull down a box of water. So I had to cut them all off because it was broken so short that it just wasn't, you know. And I didn't want to put a fake nail on because the rest weren't like long enough to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just put on a fake nail, I have to have my nails all really long, and they just weren't at that length yet. So, what was I gonna say? I forget. Medical research. So, I was thinking about people who want to donate a whole bunch of dough to medical research. It's like all these fundraisers about doing this for this research. It's like, dude, don't you know, like, all of that doesn't even matter? I don't know. Is it just me? Am I being overly pessimistic? I don't know. Like, I look at it like this. Like, you don't really need money for research. Like, you need candidates and you need, like, maybe the lab. But, like, fundamentally, if a scientist or biologist or chemist, for that matter, want to do research, like, on a big scale, you kind of need, like, that alternate kind of source of funding. And, like, all of these, I guess, entities that collect money for research and finding cures and stuff, it's like, I don't really think that in some of the cases that they're too concerned with really finding a cure, because the things that are known to cause issues, especially ones that aren't just like super genetic and like you're totally born with it. Like, I've never once heard things that are mainline commercial items, mainstream commercial items that are known to be like direct causers of a lot of ailments that have these huge funding machines associated with them. Like, it's like, is it just me? Like, the things that are direct components, you never hear them mentioned, and I'm kind of like, well, that means that you guys really weren't too concerned about finding a real cure. And like, I know it costs money to like conduct medical research, but like a donation of like a couple million isn't gonna get it. Like, you know, so you have one set of things that aren't really being tackled as like things that are really on the agenda to be like knocked out. And then you have other ones that need this funding, but really the funding is, in my opinion, about getting past red tape. Because when it comes to all of the yeses that you need, they usually, in my opinion, need money to be able to say yes. Because even after they approve things, stuff is still let onto the market that's all effed. Like, oh, the opioids, oh my gosh, it's so sad. But how did it get this way? It's not because they're so addictive. It was because doctors were being told and continuing to tell other people that these things were safe. And people just handing them out like, you know, like confetti. And that's never mentioned nowadays. Like, how it really got to being the way that it is I've never seen it discussed in any of the publications that I watch that actively and ongoingly discuss them right now. They just talk about like what a tragedy it is, and you know, that we have to work together to solve the problem. And it's like, wait, hold on, it wasn't us that caused the problem. It wasn't this side of the fence that planted that seed, homie. It's like, it doesn't, like, you know, I don't know. And it's like, if you can't trust your government, you just have to keep on trucking, you know, because they're at a point now where it's just like, it's so obvious. I mean, it's always been obvious, but I think now with internet being able to inform people, the internet informing the public as quickly as it does is taking away the opportunity of old times or olden times to like really blind people. Because now you have like private investigative journalism, you have people that are going out, you have journalism that has underground roots that get, you know, published regularly and frequently and quickly. And you know, Basically, renegade journalism is what is blowing the cover. Re- renegade journalism is what is exposing mainstream journalistic lies. It's like the delay in mainstream journalism is exposing it as a joke. You can't take it seriously, and it just comes out as just a blatant lie. And it's so obvious now, guys. Like, it's like, come on, you know. It's like watching the news is really like watching a soap opera. It's like, it's serious stories, and I try not to like take away from like the seriousness of like the people's lives and the people who are involved. But the way that it's being covered, there's already so much disrespect. When I laugh, I'm laughing at like the spectacle, not necessarily the subject. I'm laughing at like the overall buffoonery, not the end story, you know, like the Khashoggi situation. Like, I'm not laughing at that guy getting whatever he got. Like, I don't want any part in that. I don't want to, it's just not cool. But what I laugh at is like breaking news, and you know, the president being like, well, maybe he did and maybe he didn't, and the owner of the company just thinking about Amazon, he's nowhere to be found. Like, no comment anywhere, mum's the word. Like, come on. And then you continue on to like the body double and everything else that's associated, and then it all dissipates into nothingness. Nope, no changes in how we do business with the people who are associated. One agency even points to this person, and who knows? I mean, honestly, really, who does know like who's telling the truth and who isn't? But the presentation is so choppy that like none of it really matters. And then it comes to like everything else, and it's just like, well, I guess it's every man for himself, because you know, these people aren't playing fair. So let me just stay in my nest and hang low and like not have any opinion. Like, who wants to get involved politically? You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to, I don't know. Like, who wants to, I'm proud to be an American. I like my fellow Americans, pretty much. I like people. I like how we are. That's cool. But like, some parts are turning into an embarrassment. And that's when I'm just like, well, for all of that, I'll just go watch some Wendy Williams. Because it's the same thing. So, you know, can't get mad about it though. Like, upset, like, oh, they should change this. Because they're really just doing everything that they've ever, you know, everything is basically the same. I think it's just the exposure. I think it's my eyes becoming wider, and you know, I'm just having to adapt. So I guess this is a video about adaptation and just dealing. So, and being cool. Just stay cool. You know, don't be an asshole. Just stay cool. So, with that being said, who knows? Who knows? I'm gonna go. Just checking in, making a quick little video in this place. So I'll see you the next time. It has been fun. I kind of like talking about these things. I think about them a lot. Like, so I will talk to you later. Bye.